Hello people. Well, this has been a long time. I think it's nearly a year since I've possibly posted a video, so it's been much too long, and it's about time for an explanation really. Well, the last year has been quite difficult in some ways. As you know from well, if you was following the last lot of videos I was doing, I had very little work, hence the reason why I was out quite a lot. Unfortunately, that caused a few problems, a few personal problems between me and my wife, a few financial problems. Obviously, obviously when you don't work, you don't earn any money, so things get difficult. So this past year there's been a few changes. I'm pleased to say that we work things out between my wife and myself, so that's all hunky-dory now, although she's not been very well, but I don't think well, possibly some of the things that happened was part of the cause of it, but things are on the mend. I've got a full-time job, which started off working almost 7 days a week, but it's always been my philosophy: if there's work available, I will do it. So I work 7 days a week, so I had no time for play. You'll probably see me make a few appearances in some of Mac Tightwood's videos, and I've still tried to to get out with them as much as I can. But when it comes to YouTube, I think for a little while I lost my way a little bit. I wasn't watching any YouTube videos. I certainly wasn't commenting on them, which I apologise for. And I suppose I just lost my mojo. And a couple of times when I've been out, I've had the camera with me, and sometimes it's never got out of the bag. Sometimes I've taken a bit of footage, and when I've played it back, I think, well, this is so bitty, it really isn't worth putting up. So I'd just like to say to all my subscribers, and surprisingly in that past year they've still grown, although there's been no content. So I'd really like to say thanks for those that have stayed with me, and for the new guys that have come along. And hopefully we'll be starting to put out a little bit more content. I'm certainly not getting out as much as I used to, but it's always the problem, isn't it? When you've got a job, you've got the money to do the things that you enjoy. Fortunately, when you haven't got a job, you don't have the money to do the things you enjoy, and so it's a vicious circle. And I thought I've been wanting to make this video for quite some time. So, but once again, thanks everyone for sticking with me, and hopefully in future we'll see a fair bit more. I've come out today to these woods, and I haven't been in these woods for probably a good 18 months to 2 years. Reasonably close to home. I used to use these woods quite a lot. I've never actually camped here. It's only a little small woodland, but I used to use this quite a lot for just getting out for the day. If I bought some new gear, or I wanted to practice something, ideal place to come just to practice. A little bit off the beaten track. You might be able to hear the road in the background. That's not too far away, but it's really nice to come here. So a couple of reasons why I've come here today is, one, to say thanks to everyone for staying with me, and two, to try out a couple of bits of kit that I've been doing. None of us are getting any older, and I'm doing my utmost to try and make my gear a little bit lighter where I can. And I've started doing that, and I've got a really lightweight cook kit that I want to share with you, and use really and truly for the first time. So we'll try that out. And I've also bought a a new tarp. A lot of people will probably go outdoors quite a lot, and I've been quite impressed just recently with their OEX range. I bought a new rucksack from them and a sleeping bag, and the sleeping bag's very good and the rucksack's very good. I haven't brought those with me today, but one of the other things that suddenly appeared on the list is what they call a bush tarp. So I brought that with me today for first. It's not going to be a review, it's purely going to be a try out and show people what it's like, and really to show me what it's like, because all I've done at the moment is got it home and got it out of the bag. So we'll put that up and see what you think. Right, okay, I'll try not to make this too long, and I'll come bring you back later. Right people, here's the cook kit I was talking about. Basically it's a titanium 750mm pot, which I think is probably big enough for one person, certainly big enough to brew a excuse the dog, wants to be in everything. Certainly big enough to do a boil in the bag, just about. I have actually tried it, not actually boiled it, but I actually put one in there, and it does actually work. So basically what I've got in here, and it's actually quite a lot really. Right, you've got, excuse the dog, you've got the pot, which has got the bow arms there, and also a bow arm, the handle there, and also a bow arm that if you want to sling it over a fire. You can see it's quite a lot in it, because that lid doesn't fit on. There's a bandana which you can use for wiping things up. What I've done is a couple of couple of 3-in-1 coffees there, so you've got everything there that you need for that. Right, and also inside that there's a titanium mug, and inside the titanium mug I've got my little white box stove, which I made myself. Put a little silver foil cake case in there as well, because that does help if you want to sort of get the stove to bloom a little bit quicker. You can put a little bit of mess on the outside and light that, so that it heats up the mess a lot quicker. And then there's a little pot there which probably holds around about 4 or 5 brews. Certainly more than enough to do a couple of brews, and enough there to boil your water for your boil in the bag. So everything there is completely contained. I put it in a plastic bag, obviously, because it's MEFS. I really don't want the if it does leak, which it shouldn't do, to leak into my cup. So that goes inside the cup. I mean, you can do away with these mesh bags, but it does contain things a lot easier, really, I find. And then it goes in there like that. The 2-in-1s. Bryson, please move. 2-in-1s go down the outside and fold over, so that's everything there. Your bandana folds up. You don't really need the bandana if you don't want it, but I think it's handy to have a cloth that you can wipe things with. And then that sits on top, lid sits on top, everything goes back in the pouch. Oh, sorry, I missed off there. I put a little plastic spoon. Now you can get these little plastic spoons from like the pound shop, 99p shop, whatever's in your town, right? And they come in a set. They're actually sort of the measuring spoons. So you just pick the one that suits you, just to stir and pull. You know, if you have tea, to take your tea bag out with. So, and that sits nicely on top of there as well. And then it all closes like I said, all closes down, and that's it. Now what I also did was I also bought a titanium windbreak. Now I think I mucked this up on eBay, to be fair. I thought I was just getting one that was a lot smaller than this, and I thought the idea behind this was it was just going to roll up and go inside the pot, but as you can see it's slightly too big. So either buy another one or rethink how I'm gonna do that. But that, other than water, you have everything there that you need as a brew kit, to go out, enjoy a day out in the field. As you can see, all nicely contained. As I say, I've got to rethink this one really, just because the plan was it for it to go inside. Obviously, which it don't, it's too big, but I mean that weighs absolutely nothing really. And the whole thing together, I weighed it earlier, it weighs 380 grams, 0.380 kilograms. So that's quite a lightweight cook kit. And now all I've got to do is, proof of the pudding, is to use it to make myself a cup of coffee. So I'll bring you back when that's on the go. Right, that's blooming, and I'm just going to put the pot on and we'll get a brew on in a minute. Sure, just keep this covering it, doing its job, but that will be boiling fairly soon, hopefully. When I tried it indoors, it just took about 3-4 minutes to brew. It's a bit windy out here today, so we'll see how long that takes. But I'm hoping it's not going to take a lot longer than that. Right, as you can see now, we have a boil. Wasn't really that long at all. Nice rolling boil there. So take that off of there, transfer it over. I was out shopping with the wife the other day, and I can't remember whether it was Lidl's or Aldi we went into, because they're in our town. They're actually right opposite one another. While she sort of like gets a few bits of groceries, I always like to peruse the bits and pieces they got on offer at the time. And I actually come across this, not for myself, right, but for the dog. It's actually a collapsible dog bowl. But what I like about it, I mean, I've already got one. I already have one, something similar to this for him. But what I like about it, it's actually got a lid. Right, so you can take that off. It says it's a litre, so it's ideal for water or food, for that matter. And then you've got a lid that covers it over. So if you don't use all, if you're camping and you put his food down, I mean, I took him camping for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and he absolutely loved it. But one of my friends who also had their dog there, and he didn't eat all his food, which is most unusual for him. And we left it, and I came back and found that my mate's dog was finishing off his food for him. So the lid would have come in really handy. And I think these were about £2.50, no more than £3. And I thought, ideal bargain really. If you've got a dog, nice collapsible pot which you can sort of like folds down quite slim. I think it's probably ideal for camping trips or just going out for the day with your dog. And the lid also sort of like, because it's always, you can never really dry it. I mean, how many people take a tea towel with them when they're out just for a day's walk, but the lid will keep that moisture inside. and you can put it back in your pack. So I think for, let's say, £2.50, £3, it was an ideal purchase. So I'll do in some water. Maybe they'll stop bothering me then, and the next thing we'll get on with that tarp. So I'll bring you back in a little while. Right, there we go, people. The OEX bush tarp. I've taken it out of the bag and I've re-rolled the tarp. I've separated because it actually comes with poles. And they come in their own little bag, so you can either take those with you on a trip, or leave them at home and just sling it up with, you know, with our normal paracord or a ridgeline. That's how big the actual tarp goes down, and that's by not, you know, not very compressed really. So it could probably go down a lot smaller than that. Comes with the normal instructions about what you should do in a tent, and carbon monoxide can kill. Well, it's in a tarp, you know, you're not liable to have too much worries about that. But so it's a nice little stuff bag there really. As I say, that will probably go down a lot smaller as well. Its dimensions on the bag, it says it's 305 centimeters by 285 centimeters. The poles are aluminium, and it's a 5,000 millimeter hydrostatic head. So you know, it's going to be waterproof, and it's a reasonable size. And I think, and as I say, I've not had this out yet. I think it actually tapers down, so it lends itself to our normal tarp configuration. So we'll put that up and see what it's like. Oh, and by the way, the website says it weighs 0.9 of a kilogram, so it's under a kilogram. So it really isn't that heavy. And obviously, if you take the poles, it's going to weigh a lot less. It does come with pegs as well, so there are pegs in there. So you know, so you've got pegs and guy lines in there as well. So we'll get it out anyway, and we'll see how it goes. Right, here's the OEX bush tarp set up. I've set it up in this configuration because we've got a longer pole at the front, shorter pole at the back. Obviously, if you are into sort of like a little bit of all-round view, then it's ideal. But I think you can probably peg these directly down to the floor. You can peg these directly down to the floor, so that would be ideal. I think the first things I would do though with this, the first things I will do is change these guy lines. I really don't like these horrible thin nylon guy lines. I'm going to put some ordinary paracord on these, I think. As I say, it's got a stitched sort of like ridge line that's a bit stiffer across the top. There's no fixings across the middle, so it will, even if you put it up just on a piece of paracord, unless you run the paracord underneath, it's still going to sag a little bit. But the way I've set it up like this, it's not too bad. You've got a further 2 tie outs at the front if you need them, so wish. You got 3 tie outs down the side, and please excuse the dog again because he's starting to get on my nerves. As I say, there's one other pole section, so for some reason I really wouldn't know why you would have the back the same height as the front, because it is definitely, as you can see, it's definitely, you know, it tapers down. I mean, I quite like that sort of configuration because let's face it, you only really sleep at the end. There's certainly enough room for 2 people. More than enough room for 2 people under there, possibly 3 if at a push. Dog keeps on running into these guy lines and knocking everything over, So apologise for Bryson. Certainly not, first impressions, certainly not as good as a DD, and you'd probably pay about the same sort of price for a DD, and I possibly would go, you know, probably would go always for a DD. I've got DD tarps, but I like when I saw this, I like the look of it, and I thought I'd give it a go. Well, filming this on my phone again because all my batteries have completely died. Hopefully, I've got them in my pocket, so hopefully I can get something out of them to finish it off. I'd also like to do some a couple of shout outs on this video, because might as well do everything at once, I suppose. So first of all, I'd like to give a shout out to a good friend of mine who unfortunately is in hospital at the moment. You all know him, you all know him well. It's Mike the Bearded Clam. So just want to say, mate, that all our thoughts are with you, and I know everything's going to be okay, and you're going to be, very soon you're going to be back out in the woods with us. All but being your luxury camper van, but there we go, we'll let you off on that one. But whatever you can get out in, mate, it's really good to see you. I was really pleased to see you at the Forest of Dean meet in December, and hopefully we can get out a lot more times. So it's a shout out for Mike the Bearded Clam. Get better soon, mate. Right, you just keep well. Right, cheers. And the other shout out is for a small channel that I've been watching just lately. Something I've come across. A young guy by the name of Ray, and his channel name is Charlie Tango 1. Well worth a watch. He's a bit of an outdoorsman. He likes his shooting, but he also does some really nice leather work. He used to be a saddler, I believe, so he knows he knows his stuff, and he does some real nice leather work, which he sells and is very reasonable rates. But give his channel a look, right? And I think, like me, you'll find it very interesting. He seems to think he can be a bit boring at times, but no, I find it very interesting. So just give it a look. Right, so that's the 2 shout outs I'd like to do. So let's back to what I'm doing in these lovely little woods. So speak to you soon. Right, I think we'll finish it there. Very bitty. This battery is about to die again by the looks of it, so I ain't gonna have a lot of time. So hopefully it won't be long before I'll do the next one. Get out a little bit more. I'm hoping to do something on my own, possibly next Saturday, and I've got something planned for over Easter as well. A bit of a walk. Something I've been wanting to do for a long while. So if it happens, I'll bring you along. So once again, people, thanks for sticking with me. Hopefully things get back to normality, whatever normality is, and I can get out and start doing some. And I think that's the battery died. It probably hasn't recorded any of that. So speak to you later.